Cool. And we're live.
Woo!
All right. Welcome everybody to session 14 of Bane of the Ancients, DnD 5e. With us tonight, I am Gatch Righteous. I'm the GM for this. And who do we have playing?
We have Katsu, or Katsuo. He is a pretty young and up-and-coming shogun, for sure. Fighter, mostly thinks with brawn, but does have a noble upbringing, and so he's got a bit of smarts to him as well. And a big sword.
Cool. And then who are you?
Who are you?
It's a tough one. Now, I'm Eludria. You can find me on various social medias.
Yep.
Hi.
All right,
And
I'm J-Buck. I'll be playing Yakusame, homeless warlock.
perfect.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Perfect. All right. So, where we left off, Katsu, Yakasame, and their companion, a high elf surgeon transmutation wizard named Dwarthen, were busy preparing for the goblins who were supposedly coming to strike the town nearby. Previously, they defeated an Etten that was inhabiting a cave north of the town of Takuso, and it's a little hamlet of high elf farmers. After downing the Etten, they learned it was the only thing protecting the village to the south from the goblin onslaught coming from the northeast. And then after a skirmish with a band of goblins the party had encountered before, they took it upon themselves to defend the town from the goblin threat. Their plan was to reinforce the cave and the area around the cave, and hold the ground against the anticipated assault. And now that the goblins know the Etten is slain, so while they prepare, so do the goblins. Currently, the party had spent some time discussing for a few hours about the various different types of traps and preparations they can set up. It is now late morning, around 10 a.m. They're unaware of when the goblins will come, or if they'll come. And here we are. Last we left off, we were in the cave discussing defense strategies. So, to expedite this, what I would like both of you to do is go ahead and roll me some survivals. These survivals are going to kind of figure out what sorts of traps that you guys know how to make.
Just one each.
Yep.
Awesome.
Perfect.
One word for it.
Yep. That is one word for it. All right. So, Yakasame, you've spent a lot more time out on the road fending for yourself, things like that. So you're pretty familiar with how to protect yourself if you're on the road, how to set up little traps to catch food if you need to in between towns. So there's quite a few little traps you know how to make, and you could see extrapolating that to be big enough to protect against some goblins. So you want to take some notes on the stuff that you're recalling. You definitely know how to make some pitfall traps. You've done just basic pits before. Sometimes you'll do ones where you kind of try and hide it, although you're not very good at making them super hidden. Probably because you don't want to fall into them later as well. Just well enough so like a deer wouldn't see it or something.
Yeah.
You're also pretty good at like making areas around your camp undesirable to walk around. Like you'll make it kind of rough, or put branches in the way, logs in the way, make little kind of barricades and things like that. Sometimes even doing some pointy bits, whether you found some thorns around or some other sharp stuff, just to keep bad things away from you, whether it be homeless men or what.
Yeah.
You're also pretty good at building little walls out of what you can find around. Probably good enough to do like half cover. So that's good.
Also, just curious. I
Hmm.
am proficient with my thieves tools. I don't know if those would help this at all. This type of thing.
It could very well. It could.
The traps idea and all that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. You're also familiar with digging like trenches around things, and if need be, even resorting to using bodies and bones of people to kind of make barricades, since you've been around dead people in the streets, carcasses around, bones in the road. Um, you've also on occasion had to start some fires to kind of scare things away, whether you made smoke or actual rings of fire around yourself, fending off like pack of coyotes or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are the ones that are just given. Now, there are all kinds of other types of traps that you can try and think up, and I have mechanics for. But those for sure you can do stuff with.
All right.
Um, Now, there's another side of things. We're going to figure out what you have learned in your lore book, and then Katsu, what you've learned in your war classes when you were younger.
Okay,
Um, for this, you can either do history or intelligence.
gotcha.
So one of you, or both of you, each roll me either a history or an intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, you guys remember basically what I just said. Pits, basic barricades, rough terrain, trying to do stuff like that. Alrighty. So you have some time between now and whenever the goblins come. Um, you know how to make pit traps, barricades, um, trenches. You can set up things where you can light stuff on fire. Um, I wish you guys had rolled a little higher.
Damn.
Um,
That's what I was wondering about with that survival
mm-hmm.
with the thieves tools. I don't know. I was like, do we add proficiency to that maybe? But
Hmm.
Let's see. For making traps, go ahead and you have the description of thieves tools. I know that it's like disarming traps. What's your
I
proficiency
just have
Oh
I just have it
shit.
there. Actually, the proficiency is 3
with
on that.
your thieves tools thing? I'll throw a couple things your way.
Yeah.
Couple things your way. You know how to set up trip lines, which is
Okay.
helpful. If you can
Yeah.
find any type of rope or things like that, you can set them up to where they just a tripwire where people walk over it and fall
Yeah.
prone.
Okay.
Um, you also know how to make a different kind of hazardous terrain, although you're not sure how well it would work here. Basically, if you found like some marbles or ball bearings or something like that, it could make people fall prone as well.
Okay.
Um, Other stuff with these tools. If you had a really cool crossbow that you could set up, you might be able to set up like a crossbow trap
Yeah.
where they trip over something and it shoots automatically. Um, let's see. And you've seen people's really cool traps before, though you haven't tried to build them. There's ones where they'll have like a whole net fall from the ceiling. You've seen things where like a rope will cut and then something will come and swing like a big pendulum log or
Yeah.
stuff like that, which you could try to
Perfect.
recreate from what you've seen, but you kind of
Yeah. I
like
don't know how well it'll go.
exactly. Um, and yeah, I think that's about your guys' repertoire. So you can describe the kind of trap if you want to build one. Tell me when and where. We'll roll to see how well you guys do with them,
Okay.
and we'll roll to see how fast and how well you build them, and where. I'll mark them on the map, and I have all the mechanics for them already on the side.
Nice. Okay.
So it's about 10 a.m. You had done some scouting earlier with your Mogwai gremlin, and he was trying to kind of figure out how far out the goblins were. You had not spotted them moving yet. Let's go ahead and do a roll to see if you can kind of catch some clues as to how far out these goblins are. So we'll say your little gremlin dude's coming back, or your Mogwai's coming back, Yakasame. And you could, I guess let's do survival for that, since it's kind of trying to find them tracking, but from the Mogwai. Nice.
Oh, from the Mogwai though. That's from Yakasame.
Yeah, what's the Mogwai's modifier?
Survival.
Survival.
Is that just wisdom?
I believe so, but could someone confirm that by looking at their character sheet real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking at
wisdom.
it.
Yeah, it's wisdom.
Okay. Speaking of, I should probably pull up a
He is.
Warathon.
But he does. Does this?
Oh, he has a +2, so technically it'd just be a
18.
18.
Also, does that have anything to do with hearing?
Sure. Yeah.
Hey.
Because he has advantage on wisdom. It says perception checks that rely on hearing, but
Yeah, he could track him using hearing.
Okay.
Sure.
I guess we could just take that 11 then and do the 19 and 11 and all the 19 advantage.
Sounds good.
That'll work.
Nice.
Okay. There we go, Warthen. You just hang out right there. Cool. And if you remember, you guys set up a Warthon trying to make a emergency escape tunnel over on the other side of this cave, down in the back way, where he's chipping away at it, trying to make a pathway for you guys to run through, where there's just like a few inches of stone between you guys and the exit that he can hopefully quickly bust out if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, it's a little tricky to get to that spot because you have to climb over some boulders.
Yes.
And such. All right, so awesome little Mogwai with the now 18 that they rolled. They did spot some movement to the northeast. Reporting back, kind of tried to communicate with you a bit. Since there were, how far away is your like telepathy with them, where you're actually looking through their eyes?
Let me double check here.
Is
That
that
just
half
my-
range?
That's just my find familiar, or is it?
Probably, yeah.
I'm just gonna click it. So it's not needed. Yeah, there it is.
Basic commands.
Okay, so
100
it's
and
like
100 feet.
Yeah. Well,
So it's gonna come back and like try and communicate to you, which is it can just communicate with
Well-
you telepathically once it gets back.
also, does that 100 feet apply to me looking through its eyes and hearing what it hears?
Yeah. Exactly. So you can do that.
Additionally, as an action. Okay.
Yeah. So if it's in 100 feet of you, you can like take over its sight and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So your Mogwai comes back and kind of swoops in the cave like a bat because you rolled with wings, which was pretty lucky.
So
Mhm.
cool.
And it just starts like making cute little Mogwai noise that just, and it's kind of like trying to figure out how to telepathically communicate. Do you reach out to it, or do you try and understand its like weird sounds?
I'll try to understand its weird sounds.
All right, roll me an animal handling.
Yeah. It'd be good.
See, are you Ash
a bonding
Ketchum or a good
experience.
trainer? You're a
Pretty
good
good.
trainer, actually.
Pretty
Ash is gonna lose, and you're gonna win.
Damn, son.
So yeah, the Mogwai like kind of you're starting to understand like the ups and downs in it. You know, kind of like Pikachu would talk. You're like, oh, I think I understand what this thing's saying.
Yeah, at least by the tones.
Yeah, by the tones and by its like pointing, and it's actually not a dumb creature at all.
No. Yeah.
You get the idea that there are quite a lot of goblins and things heading your way. You get away from that, it's more than 50. So, like 2 or 3 score goblins.
Yeah.
and they're at least 2 days away, maybe more,
Okay, that works.
maybe less if they start sprinting.
Yeah, if they hurry up.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'd inform Katsu. Katsu, it looks like there's a lot of goblins coming our way. Like a lot.
How many is a lot?
I'm not sure. Maybe like, I don't know, 50 to 100, somewhere in there.
Uh,
But they're a couple days away. Like 1 or 2 probably.
well,
Do you think we can handle that many goblins?
normally I would say no. And Katsu seems to be kind of has this just look of annoyance on his face. But with 2 to 3 days to prepare, I think we can take out a decent chunk of them. And worst
Yeah.
case scenario, there's nothing wrong with fleeing a fight we can't win.
Okay. Well, I mean, I have a little bit of knowledge on traps and things like that, but not much. And I don't know how well I can make them, but I can
What
try.
knowledge do you hold?
I pull out my lore book since you asked. It's all in here. There's just lots of stuff for pits and tripwires and trenches and barricades and things like that.
Tripwires.
Hmm.
Interesting. I only have basic knowledge of pit traps, as you said. Basic barricades, maybe creating a bit of rough terrain to slow an enemy down, or, well, creating fire to ward things off.
That's something at least.
What else do you know? Fires could be very
Um,
helpful.
I can start fires. I can make little walls. Um, I can make little paths that people don't want to walk down. Um, as I'm flipping through the pages, showing you like pictures of these things.
Okay. Well, we do have a couple crossbows. Don't understand the mechanisms based on this diagram here, but do you think you could put them to work to fire?
Probably. I could try at least. I don't know how well it'll work. I've never done it before, but
Well, I say we start with the bigger traps, the more important ones, the ones that are most likely to wound a significant chunk. If they're coming in force, I think we should best utilize the pinching points in this cave and the
okay.
areas that we can funnel them.
I point like up and down the hallway we're in here. Like this
Mhm.
looks like a really good funnel point, at least. If we wanted to, those crossbows, we can maybe put them somewhere around there, and then maybe put a trip line right here somewhere. So when they cross it, they fire down to a bunch of them.
I do like that idea. And we've got a smaller likelihood of getting hit in the back.
Yeah.
What about setting the crossbows up along this wall? Having the tripwire in the same place, mind you, but having it fire at their backs instead of our own.
We can do that too.
Well,
I just don't know how many will be right here. If we shoot it this way, we might hit a lot going down this.
true. True.
Either way, I think we can set it up here at least in this little choke point.
Regardless, I agree. I think that would be a good place to set it up. As long as it's not facing our backs, we should be fine. How long do you think it would take you to create such a trap?
I've never done it before, but I mean, I can
Take your
try.
best guess.
Uh, DM, do I have an idea of how long this process takes? I have no idea.
You probably find out when you try and do it.
That's what I mean.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, get started with this one, and I hand you Tren the crossbow. Ba, ba, ba.
Just one crossbow?
I'm going to grab the other one from a Warthon. I'll be back.
Okay.
Get started here. Any materials you'll need, I'll leave them here as well. And I set down my bag of materials. You'll
And
find rope to the right, and don't touch my mirror.
Okay.
And Katsu heads off to go see how a Warthon's doing.
okay.
And I'll try to start setting that up.
So you start fumbling around in the bag, right?
Yeah, to get the rope and things like that. Any tools I can use.
Yep. And roll me a wisdom save.
Perfect.
Fucking mirror.
Yeah. So it's not like ear shattering or anything like that, but there's definitely banging on that mirror. Just
I look to see where Katsu's at. He's not over there.
He's nowhere around.
You're
You're alone again.
Yep.
I'm gonna grab that mirror and throw it
Where to?
this direction.
Just gonna toss it.
Yeah.
All right. Roll me in athletics to see how far.
Okay.
Chuck
Just
it.
chuck it.
Yeah.
Natural 20. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like hard to throw.
I wasn't
but
like trying to break it. I just want to get it further
Yeah.
away. Just get out of here.
You throw it and it lands like. So where are you throwing it from exactly?
I'm guessing I'm kind of
You
like
can move Yakasama to where you're at.
I'm probably like right about here. I probably have the bag like on the bodies here and kind of looking through
You
it.
throw it, it like clears a couple waves of the bone pile and then lands somewhere about there, and you just hear this kind of clang and sound of bones as the
It's a little
silver
quieter
mirror-
pounding.
You still hear it, but it's over there now.
Yeah,
So
that's better. Just go away from me.
yeah, let me Katsu, you do not how far did you get, Katsu? Do you think? by the
Did
time-
you hesitate to throw the mirror at all?
I looked where you were. If you were too close, I probably wouldn't have thrown
Okay,
in that
awesome.
direction.
So in that case, I'd probably be like scaling the rocks to like on my way down to the Warthon.
Roll a perception.
Okay. Let's see, where's my perception? Percepi.
You heard metal hitting stone and then bones, and it sounded like
A mirror.
it was it sounded like it could have been your mirror. Probably.
I want to get back.
Probably that mirror.
A Warthon. And annoyed face. Just goddamn it.
Yes. I'm still working on this. Please don't tell me that you're changing your mind again.
Not at all. We're setting up traps. Yakasame happens to be quite resourceful in that matter. I'm going to need the crossbow that I lent you.
I thought you gave it to me, but that's fine.
Won't say that expectantly.
Right now? Okay. And he like takes his bag off and like starts fumbling around. He's not in a huge hurry. But he totally he gets it for you. And now you have it.
Thank you. Yakasame will put this to good use.
Okay.
We'll show you when you're done. It looks like you're doing good work here, though. I don't want to interrupt your concentration anymore.
Yeah, thank you. I guess.
Gone. Yeah, Guts is just like, yep, keep at it, bud. And I kind of come this way. Mind if I roll perception to find my man? Just to see if it was
Are
top.
you actively looking for it?
I mean,
Are you you're trying to find out if your mirror landed in the bone
If
pile?
it was the mirror.
yes. I'm not
Investigation.
stopping my pace, but I'm just glancing as I'm kind of going over. Like,
Investigation check.
yeah. Let's see. Investigation. Natural one.
No, you just see bones and more bones because there's reflections of bones on bones.
Damn, son. All right. Nice.
Okay.
And I'm back with the other crossbow.
Probably starting to like mess with this stuff. Hey, Katsu, I was thinking maybe we should like plan all of our little traps before we start working on some of them,
Okay.
or at least go through what we're gonna do.
That sounds
Um,
like a good idea.
so besides these crossbows here, I'm pretty good with pitfalls. Um, I think maybe the entrance to the cave would be a good spot for those.
Absolutely agreed. We have
Maybe
plenty of
even a maybe even a big one in the big room.
Okay. We have plenty of sharp things to put at the bottom. Rusted blades, jetting bones. And if we want to get really creative, we could use that stew in the back to coat the bottom.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Any creatures that fall on that will probably have a pretty bad day, whether or not it kills them.
I think that stew's really heavy though.
That stew's also been cooking for several days, just
Yeah.
in the same pot. It's
Days.
probably just on coals now, but
Yeah.
it's probably nastier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. It's just the most disgusting. In my bag, I've got a pot that we can transport. All we need is enough to coat what we're dipping in there.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then Katsuka nods his head. I'll be buying a new pot after we're done with this.
Oh yeah, you better. I don't want that around after that. I was thinking if we kind of stand up here when they come in and we see them in this pitfall, we have some time to take out a few possibly, and then we can retreat, and then we can have these crossbows do their thing. Is there anything else you can think of?
You said trip lines, correct?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that at some of the choke points, potentially right here, it could be an excellent place for a trip line.
Just to knock them down a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, we can do that. I could also make some walls, little ones, if you need some cover. Maybe
If we could set up walls in the main room, that would be helpful.
we want some right here that maybe when they're coming in, they can't shoot at us as well.
If we're retreating... Well, let's think about where they're going to be flowing in. If they're coming through this way, coming directly at us, it would likely benefit us if we were retreating this way to have our walls sticking out sort of like this.
Yeah,
That way we could quickly duck behind them.
I agree. And then retreat after, once they get a little closer.
Yes, that would also help to momentarily break line of sight, which could be incredibly useful, especially after knocking them prone here.
I agree. Then we could set up again, maybe in the big room.
Yes.
Let's go look around in there.
Okay. It would be ideal to utilize the choke points to our advantage. If
I
they're
agree.
unable to push through...
I kind of like the idea of another pitfall here, and maybe a trip line into the pitfall.
I like that idea. You see those two corpses, there and there?
Yeah,
We could set the trip line up across them.
good idea.
Additionally, we could be trying to use the bodies as distractions. Seeing the corpse of one of your fallen brothers is going to catch your attention a lot more than, say, a line that's hidden underneath bones.
True.
We can think of other ways to use those corpses, but... Well, actually, you said you can build walls, correct?
Yeah, I could build it out of bodies even. I opened the lore book again. Here, look here, and it shows here.
And Katsu just like, this is quite graphic detail. Have you Have you done these things personally?
Oh no, not me personally, but I read this book a lot and pretty excited to show it to someone else.
I see. Well, it looks incredibly useful, to say the least.
It is. It is.
Alright, so we've got some pitfalls at the very entrance. That's going to be our best choke point. I don't like the idea of fighting for a prolonged time in an open area.
You know, maybe we could add another choke point with walls. We could, if we wanted to, maybe we could line up some walls here and here and kind of extend this area for a longer choke point, if need be.
I do
And we
like
can
that
kind
idea.
of direct them to whatever direction we want. Maybe we even force them to come out here and then down in here before they have to come our way.
Sort of like creating a maze.
Kind of.
How long do you think the choke points would take to make?
Not too long, I don't think. This would be easier.
When a Warthon is finished, he'll likely be able to help out phenomenally, being able to move the earth and stone, as he is.
Yeah, that'd be super useful.
So, Gutsu's gonna come up to you, like... So let's walk the area that you're intending for the choke point.
Yeah.
I can kind of visualize it.
I'm just going to draw this real quick.
Yeah, thanks.
Just a line. All right, so I'm thinking I want to create a path that goes... Ooh. And then back out, if possible. Basically, we will line around that little mark, either stone or bodies. So they're in a very, like maybe 2 foot wide space. So they'll be coming, what, 1 or 2 at a time?
Interesting. And then kind of block this off right here?
Yeah, if we needed to. And then, yeah, basically keep that blue line that you have there going all the way down, following that.
And then, yeah, we're gonna head this way.
Yeah.
Kind of like this.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Just like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of your arrows.
Thank you.
So that'll create a very small place for them to walk through. And they won't all be able to come at us at once. And if we wanted to, we could put more traps in that little choke point. And then we could...
to build the walls?
Well, goblins aren't that tall. And I'm not really a construction worker or anything, so I don't know if I can make them too big. But maybe about chest height, maybe a little shorter.
I remember... I don't like chest height. I think at minimum we should have it up to our heads.
Well, if a Warthon can make the stone that high, then yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to show you some, in my lore book I pulled out and show you some pictures of the stuff that I know how to work on. And it looks like half cover.
Nice.
So there's like some walls in there. Some of them are, like a fence height, waist height, and then the other ones that are taller. But they, there's you can kind of see through them a bit.
Okay.
They're not like solid,
Yeah.
mortar walls. They're just keep animals away kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a great start for the time that we have. If we could make that and have a Warthon reinforce them with a bit of dirt and stone, I think they should be able to hold up against goblins pushing through them, goblins crawling over them.
And then here, me. And it will come over here.
Something else to keep in mind. If we have a Warthon block off that space there, if he does it with stone, it might look natural.
Yeah.
The goblins have never been in this cave. At least, not alive.
Yeah. I agree. But if we stand here, maybe once we run out of that hallway over here, I point to this place. Once we run out of there, would we want to take the path we created too? Or would we want a little sneaky way to get around it, get to where we want to be? Because from here, we can see them all funneling down. and we can make our escape.
True.
Or if we needed extra room, point up there. We have all that there.
Yo, Kasame, are you more competent in melee or at ranged?
Um, Probably range.
I see. If you were to make the walls a little bit smaller, do you think you could fire over the top?
Yeah, for sure.
What I'm imagining is that I'll be locked in melee, perhaps 10 or 15 feet away from both you and a Warthog. I don't like the idea of letting a Warthog get into melee combat. Doesn't seem to be capable.
Competent?
Yeah. With that said, if I was to lead them down this tunnel and stop them at some of these choke points, you could run through this hidden exit here. Either scaling it with a rope that we dangle over the top and then pulling it up after you, or going through some sort of secret door. Whereas
I like
I
the
lead
rope
the
idea.
goblins this way. When they're following me, I can periodically stop them around corners.
You know,
That way-
Katsu, I was thinking, I like that idea. But now that I'm looking at it from this angle, what if we sent them up this way instead of down towards us? If we just flipped it. The same idea along the cave wall. But we could lead them here. Maybe it'd be a better use of that pot with all this stuff and less work if we run the goblins to it and use it, you know?
How much time do you think it would take?
A little extra. Maybe 4 or 5, 6 hours.
6 hours difference. Well, if the cave is where we're primarily going to be fighting, I would say that'd be best utilizing our resources. It's more room. I like
Gives
the
us
idea.
extra room to get away too.
That it does. But it also complicates things. The more time that we rely on them being in a trap that we've set by our own devices, the higher the likelihood something will go wrong.
True.
May I finish my thoughts?
Yeah.
If I was to lead them down this way, I could utilize the tight corners to be able to momentarily pause at a choke point, only having to face a couple goblins at a time, potentially take out their numbers 1, 2 score every moment I get the chance. While
You
also
think you're
getting
capable of that?
at least
That's a lot of goblins.
The goal isn't to slay all the goblins in mass. It's to whittle down their numbers and eventually get them to break. We're here to kill the leader and to thin their numbers. Wars are not won by killing every single body of the other side.
Katsu, do you know how much is in a score?
And Katsu kind of thinks back to his history books, which, not well. Terrible history.
He didn't study
I do.
very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He was
Like,
that kid where they're like, "All right, Tanji Kaji, gotta write." And he's like, "I'm gonna go chop down a tree with this stick."
yeah. And Katsu's like, of course I know how much is a score.
Well, because you said like 2 scores maybe in there, but that's almost all the goblins.
We clearly have different ideas of what a score is.
I opened the Lord book. It says the score is 20 right here.
Clearly right.
You definitely know that from your lore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's well. What I mean is, if I get the goblins to follow me this way, slowly but surely, I'd be able to stop their advancing numbers, however many follow me in, and be able to fight 1 or 2 of them at a time. With the natural corners that move around these walls, I'd be able to mitigate at least most of the ranged fire. And what I think could be most interesting, a Warthon could set up some sort of, well, ramp, or you could set up some sort of little hill on the outside here. But
Get over the top of it.
once you slip through this way, both of you could pop up and take some shots at the ones that are coming through our little maze.
A pretty good
Try and
idea.
thin their numbers even more. Popping back down, you'd still have decent cover.
Good idea.
At least decent cover.
Okay,
Now,
but you're gonna have to be careful in there, because if we all run in there and get stuck in there, it might not be good.
you and a
So-
one will be staying on the outside.
I agree, but if you get stuck in there, we're gonna have to come save you. So don't get stuck in there. And if you have to retreat, retreat. Okay?
I will. I have no intention of dying in here.
Can I roll an insight to see if Katsu means that he's actually gonna retreat?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like, are you really gonna though? I'm being serious.
Katsu has a very dead serious look.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
And
the look isn't what he's going for. Like,
No, I'm like, are you
Is-
really going to?
yeah.
Is your pride gonna take you over?
And with the 22 insight, is your pride gonna take you over, Katsu? What percent chance?
a 0% chance.
Okay.
Katsu is
Okay.
not fucking around in here.
Katsu
Okay.
doesn't want to die today, or
Okay.
in 3 days, or 2 days.
Especially not to goblins.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I like that plan though.
My primary concern is that once they realize they're being shot at from over the top, they may start trying to climb the walls.
I was thinking that too. Maybe.
Set
Wonder
the
if
top
there's-
of the walls on fire.
Oh, look, that's a really good idea.
If we could create, well, I don't know if you have means to do this magically, but if we set up some of the drier, more easily ignitable materials outside, some of the foliage, dry grass, we could potentially start a fire at one side and then through magic try and fan it. We'd only need to keep them in there for a minute.
Hmm.
I estimate that's how long I would like to hold up inside, taking out as many as I can as I retreat, not getting stuck.
I can make flames brighter. I don't know if I can make them grow though. I can start fires, but
You can start fires.
I don't know if I can magically though.
Magical or not, starting fires is a great start. Do you know how to spread them? Quickly.
I mean, I have some ideas at least.
When we start getting the flame going, well, it'll likely pick up relatively quickly, especially if we started in multiple places. But do you know of anything that would burn for a little bit longer? I have a few torches, but
I mean, there's a lot of trees outside. I don't know if we can extend the life of the fire though. Make it last longer, but I'm sure if we pile up enough stuff, it'll kind of sort itself out.
okay.
Maybe just along the top of the wall, we just line the whole wall with branches and leaves and stuff that ignites really quick.
I like that idea. We could have some of the older branches near the bottom.
And if
And
we're standing here and we light it here, it should go both directions, I would think.
Exactly. What I'm thinking is, once we have the goblins on the inside, before you begin firing and looking over the top, you start the fire in the center, and as it begins to spread, that is when you take advantage of the chaos. If we set it up with some of the older branches on bottom, that'll burn for an extended period of time, and some of the lighter materials on top. If we start the sparks at the bottom, it'll ignite the top layer and hopefully burn down. But,
Well, most things burn up. He kind of rises. But
mind if I roll a survival to see, like, efficient fire making?
Please.
You're right.
You know how to start a campfire.
Yeah.
Heat does rise.
You put all the easy stuff on the bottom and the bigger stuff up top, and then it goes up. But I mean, we can line the whole thing with leaves and stuff, and then maybe put logs on top of it, and then hope that the logs catch, and maybe bigger stick. You know?
I might have something to help it catch fire. I have a couple torches. But outside of
mean-
that,
That'll start a fire.
torches, some wicks from candles. Nice.
Well, maybe in all the chaos we can scare them too. The fire and you taking them down.
I agree. Yokosame, something I'd like you to keep in mind is that by no means will we likely be able to kill every single goblin that we encounter today.
I agree. I don't want to kill them all. I just want to kill that one.
Aye. But we'll likely have to cut through a few to get to him. Wars aren't won by slaying every single person on the other side. They're won by breaking the enemy. If we can break the goblins' morale and cause even a few of them to flee as we continue fighting, the fight will eventually go in our way.
Pretty confident about that. I think you're right.
If we can find a way to terrify them.
I mean, I can yell really loud. I can scare some things too. But
Keep
I
that
don't
in
know.
mind as we're fighting. Keep
Yeah.
thinking on it, as will
Yeah.
I.
All right, so from there, we will retreat through this. So as we're coming out this way, is there anything we want to do at the end of our little man-made hallway?
You said you know of trip lines.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you can do with them besides like trip?
I mean, I'd open up the lore book, go through a few pages. I mean, I might be able to do some of these, and it's kind of like a pendulum-looking thing.
Yeah, it's basically like watch out for trip lines because these might be attached to them. Not
Yeah.
how to put them together.
No, it's not like it's just
Oh,
maybe like a picture, like. This is an idea, though, at least.
I see. Well,
Or, I mean, we could also maybe slow them down more, throw some stuff on the ground, makes it hard to walk on. That way we can get through the rocks here.
that could be a good start. Additionally, I know I saw goblins climbing trees, so they likely are at least decent at that. Anything we can do to stop them from getting vantage points. They seem to favor bow and arrows, which is rather inconvenient for us.
I look around the cave. Does there look like there's any higher ground vantage points around that something could climb up to? Or...
Not super. They'd have to like climb up onto the walls in here.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big chamber, and the ceiling goes gradually up higher. And
Okay.
Well, I think we're safe in the cave. They probably have more range than us, but I don't think they'll get above us or anything.
I actually liked what you were saying now that I think about it. If we have you and a Warthon sit in this area right here, on the other side of the wall, if we put a log, even a decently sized one, that was also lit afire, right here, as I go and escape, you could potentially push that from your side off and down into them.
And just block it a little bit.
Block it and crush anyone unlucky enough to be under it.
That's a good idea. I think it's going to be up to you to bring the log up there, though, because I look at my frail little arms.
If we could create a sled to get the log inside, I could have you help me drag it. And in terms of lifting it, Well, a Warthog could create a slope of sorts with his magic. I think
A
I've
lot of
got it.
extra time, but I think we can do it.
A Warthog could also. He did this to me once before. He made me, well, significantly larger than I am right now.
Oh yeah, that could help.
It helped a lot when that slime tried to envelop us. In fact, I felt quite a bit stronger. A log, say 10 to 15 feet, would still be incredibly heavy, but it'd be a lot more doable if I was that big.
Okay, so that's a good idea. What else? What else can we do? Maybe. hmm, We could probably put another tripwire in here just to trip them up as they get to the rocks.
True. I like the idea of creating a pitfall, potentially.
If we have time.
True. 2 to 3 days. So what do you say we work at
More
the
like a day or two, I think. But
uh, I'd say let's plan to accomplish as much as we can in this first day,
I agree.
and then use the second day primarily for rest. Well,
Okay. Or
at
any
least
other
not,
additions.
at least not overdo it.
Yeah.
We need to get the basics down. You say we start at the entrance and work our way farther back.
I'm gonna try starting with the crossbows. If you want to start digging, I'll see if I can get that set up.
Okay. One more thing, Yakasame.
Yeah.
Can you cast magic with your hands full?
Yes, I can.
Good. I know it's a bit crude, but I think there was a shield in the pile on the back that could prove useful in this coming fight. Even something to put up in front of your face to block oncoming arrows could be very useful. Goblins aren't exactly the best shot, but I'd rather not leave their firing rate up to luck. Anything we can help to minimize the amount of arrow wounds we have, I would say, is going to go a long ways.
That's probably a good idea. Well, if you want to grab it for me, I'm gonna start on those crossbows.
Sounds good. I'll check in on our Werthon and then I'll start digging.
I will step on the mirror as I'm walking through to put it under the bone,
Classy.
and then I'll start working on that crossbow section.
Cool. So Yakasame, go ahead and roll me first with your thieves' tools to see how well you do the trap.
Hey.
There you go. And
Damn.
then the other thing, so you have quality, and then we also have how quickly you do it.
Yeah.
So as far as you're trying to do a crossbow trap,
I like a sleight of hand, maybe.
yeah, it's gonna be just dexterity.
If
Just
you want to do, yeah.
just do a straight dexterity roll.
Okay.
Jeez.
Cool. So you get that put together in like pretty darn quick, like an hour.
Yeah.
You
It looks pretty good, I think.
both
Oh, shit.
crossbows set up. So, and where did you want them positioned at exactly?
So I think the way we were thinking about it is on this wall here, kind of facing this hallway. I think there's a much better chance to hit a bigger group with those than only a couple.
Yep. Okay. So you wanted to set those like that, and
And then I think we had the trip line here to set those off.
oops. Okay. And then where was your trip line at?
Right.
Okay. Let me rotate this. There.
Yeah.
That's good shit.
Good shit.
So that's what you're up to for about an hour.
Alright, awesome.
So I'd say by the time you're done with that, it'll be about 1 p.m. So you guys spend some time chatting, exploring the cave, bothering a
Planning.
Warthon, throwing mirrors, and putting the crossbows together. And then we will come down to you two. Katsu,
All right.
what are you doing to poor Warthon this time?
Well, first, I'm gonna give him a bit of time to continue working on that. I'm gonna be looking through this pile to find like a decently sturdy shield that's not too big for Yakasama to use.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, a Warthon keeps turning stone to dirt, and it's pretty slow going, but he's most of the way through.
Nice.
You can tell just by the massive pile of dirt.
Awesome.
Which I'm gonna start drawing. Massive dirt pile. Cool. There you go. All right. And what are you doing? You're gonna wait for Warthon to finish?
I was just kind of looking for that shield. Is that just something I could grab off the top?
Yeah, it's just a shield.
Cool. All right. You know, Warthon seems like he is pretty set. He looks close to finish, correct?
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the most important time for him to have concentration, so I'm actually going to leave him be and start digging. Like,
Okay.
if I interrupt him now, he just, like, fucks it all up, breaks through the other side, you know?
Mm-hmm. All right, and then where are you planning to start digging?
So I'm going to start digging here.
Into the stone.
Good point. Now.
I mean, you can. I'm tempted to have you roll intelligence.
Got to. Fuck.
Um,
Well, let's get that wall going. I'll start bringing bodies kind of this way.
and by bringing bodies, you mean which bodies? Because you've got goblin bodies, hobgoblin bodies, dead adventurer bodies, and tons of bones. And you've also have if you recall, there's a one-headed Etten that's barely breathing, covered in now rotting goblin bodies.
Yeah, it's probably not too
probably
good.
doing really well.
Probably not too good for the bones. Anyways, with that said, I'm going to be starting with some of the bigger bodies, so probably hobgoblins. I think.
Okay, so you're going to be dragging hobgoblin bodies from over where you put them. Oops. Over here, and you're going to be putting them in this corner. Is that right? Okay. Go ahead and roll me athletics.
Okay. So, acrobatics, athletics.
Yeah, you do pretty good time with that.
Nice. Basically getting materials to make up that wall.
Yeah, materials. Hobgoblins. So you drag the 2 hobgoblins, and then roll me history.
Got it.
Those are the only hobgoblins you remember existing.
2 hobgoblins? Whew. All right, that was good. Takes a break, drinks some tea.
Yeah, and then you're standing there and thinking for a while. You're like, which bodies should I do next? What bodies were there even to do next with that natural one? You spend there and you contemplate and mutter to yourself for a bit.
Oh yeah, without even looking at the corpses on the ground, I just get caught up in my thoughts like, what do I remember?
Yeah, there was this weird, like, smooth, flat bone you stepped on. You thought that was a little weird, but it's whatever.
That was kind of strange.
Probably a crunch underneath.
Yep.
As I'm doing this crossbow stuff and he's kind of doing that stuff next to me, can I yell at him? Say anything to him?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Katsu, I was thinking maybe before we make the pitfalls and stuff, we should get any wood that we want in here, at least in the cave. We don't have to try to get it over a bunch of pitfalls.
Good call. How many trees do you think we'll need? 2?
Um,
3?
I don't know about trees. I'm thinking more just branches and sticks and maybe a big tree itself at the end of our little man-made wall that we make. Anything else you could think of, I guess, but
Okay.
as long as we have it in the cave before we start making holes, I think it'll quicken our time.
That's a good call. I'll go look for a sizable tree to fell. Once I've
All right,
done that, I'll start hacking off the branches, bringing them this way, and you can help me with the log once I'm done.
yeah. And on your way back in, watch where you step right over here. I'm gonna put the trip line there, and I don't want these crossbows to shoot you, so
Yeah, could you show me exactly where you're setting it up?
yep. And I show you exactly where I'm setting it up.
Awesome. And got to mix it out of that. Thank you. And Katsu's gonna reach in his bag and pull out some of his spider silk rope. Fancy, fancy stuff. And head on out to be a lumberjack. He actually got that pretty nice.
So by spider silk rope, you grab it for yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Yakasame's got my big old thing of rope. She can use whatever she likes from that. And then I've got like a
Got it.
decent amount. So I can tie up branches together and drag them all.
All right. So you're going to be heading back outside, correct?
And Yakasame, I know you found a pretty nice like elven axe, like woodcutter axe in the
Yeah.
pile. Katsu would ask for that so that way he could head out there.
I don't know if I even grabbed it. If I did, yeah, I would give it to you.
Awesome.
If not, it was in the pile with the shield. So
Yeah. So Katsu will come on over. Leave the shield for now. Kind of near his pile of things. We'll explain that a bit later to Yakasame and then head out with the Axe of Victory.
Okay. So I'm going to transition to Katsu being outside. We will do that.
then if I finish my stuff before he comes back, I would go join.
I was gonna say let's be honest, probably what's gonna happen.
It only took me an hour to do that.
But yeah, you're quick as hell. Fast as fuck.
All right.
Gosh.
So it should be fog of war.
Yeah, I can't see anything right now.
Good.
And if you don't want to lift Fog of War, what you can do is you
good.
could always.
I'm good.
Alright, dude.
All right. So the very top left.
Left. Yeah, there we go. Cool.
So you pop out of the cave.
Popping out of cave, I am going to try and survey my surroundings for one of the kind of bigger and better off. Well, actually, knowing how to start a campfire, would I be going for more dead trees because they would burn better? Or would I be going
Yes.
for? Okay.
Yeah. You know that you can light a living tree on fire, but you need a already pretty raging fire.
Okay.
The
So
question
kind of
is,
like,
are you grabbing wood for strictly the fire or wood to help the wall?
both. I'm hoping to kill two birds with one stone, find a pretty dead tree that we could use. Cut off all the branches to kind of lay about the wall, and then use the bigger like chunks at the bottom for the log. Does that make sense?
So you want to make the base of the wall out of logs and bodies, and then a bunch of little stuff on top?
Yeah, I was thinking logs, bodies, and then a Warthon could cover them in like stone, more or
Yeah.
less. Like
Yeah.
once we've got the foundation, he can just like fill it in and then
Cement it in,
gets it.
basically.
Which is really fucked up sounding. Now I think about it. It's
In a good
probably
way.
pretty bad looking. Like you've just got a bunch of like arms and legs sticking out of this wall. All right. So I'm gonna be looking for a suitable tree for what I just described, and ideally decently close.
All right, go ahead and roll survival.
Can do, will do. Survival down bottom. Boom.
So my question is, um, try and describe to me exactly what you're looking for in this tree, because I can think of a bunch of different ways, but what exactly is Katsu trying to find right now? Like, is it like a dead tree? Or are you looking for like what are you looking for exactly here?
Um, As a player, I don't really know.
So from the sounds of it, you're looking for one big dead tree with branches on it that can be used.
Pretty much something that hasn't like if there's one that looks convenient and has fallen over, I'd be looking for that, or a tree that looks like it's very much.
Not something that's kind of rotting away, like really soft where you can like step on it and fall into it, but one that's kind of solid but dead, and the leaves aren't a big problem. You can cut off the branches kind of easily.
Mhm.
What it sounds like.
Gotcha.
I'm not 100% on how I would identify that, so Katsu might be wandering for a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead and wander whichever direction you want. As far as you would wander, looking for a dead tree. The map is very large. Okay. And then how long would you spend looking for a dead tree if you had not found one?
If I had not found one, so I'd first search kind of the closer trees.
Yep.
And
None of those are dead.
if I don't find one by the time we get to like here, I
Mm-hmm.
would choose kind of the best option I got.
Okay. So, yeah, you wander a while. When you get to down south, down here,
Mhm.
you notice this tree right here. I'll scroll down a little bit there. This tree right here, it's got a lot more dead branches than the other ones, but you're not seeing like a straight up dead, like dead tree. This one just kind of got more dried out, leafless branches than the other ones around. That being said, by the time you walked over here, you've noticed almost all the big trees have decently sized, like large dead branches in them. It's not like anybody's out here pruning these trees or cleaning them
Yeah.
up. So you'd have to climb up into the tree and start hacking some dead branches down, or you'd have to cut down the tree and then scrounge after that.
Okay. In that case, I'll make a note of some of the bigger dead branches. But for now, Katsu's just gonna try and fell this tree that has the biggest clump of dead branches.
All right, roll me another athletics, sir.
Can do. Just realized my token's teeny tiny, and I usually double click that, so give me a moment. Athletics.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So, yeah, that's gonna take, let's see, how long would it take for you to chop down a moderately large tree with an axe?
Pretty good axe too, but
Yeah, it's a nice axe. He's hitting it hard. Um, Not the most experienced felling trees, so he's not doing the perfect angles.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think? Like a couple hours?
I mean,
Hour?
I would
Pretty
say
good roll. I would say an hour to a couple hours, probably.
Yeah, let's just say an hour because that was a good athletics.
Yeah. If you had rolled, if you had known about it, I would give you like 30 minutes. But
Yeah.
Katsu goes out there and just it's not exactly strategy to this. Just puts that axe through the tree.
well, remember when you were in school, you were cutting down trees instead of learning.
Oh, hey,
That's
full
true.
circle. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the stick. I'm gonna cut that on that tree with it.
Then the
Maybe
other
you did learn
question
angles.
is, with all that wandering around,
Yeah. Yeah. How long did that take?
Okay, that was a perfect full circle there, J-Buck. Well
Yeah.
played.
Yep. So you're pretty good at hitting trees with sticks. This stick happens to have an axe head of Elven Forge at
Yeah.
the end of it. Um, and that's a lot of ground you covered with that 9 survival.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch to bring this back.
Yeah, it's gonna. That's you. Looks like you probably wandered around a couple hours looking at tree branches.
Yeah, it looks like an hour or two probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Uh,
it's
I'm
time
gonna.
goes by quickly when you're looking.
Yep. By the time Katsu gets back, it's 3 p.m. So let's go back to what
Awesome.
is Yakasame doing for those 3 hours?
So does that mean I would have been doing that crossbow for 1 hour?
Yeah,
But
you're
2 hours.
done. You're done with the crossbow
Okay, then I have another 3 hours before he gets back.
before he's done chopping the tree down.
Okay.
Not getting back, but sorry.
Okay.
Before he gets the tree cut down.
Yeah, I was just wondering the timetable of it.
Yep.
Um, in that case, I'm gonna head outside myself. Uh,
Okay.
I'm gonna do some searching of the trees as well, but I'm gonna be looking for actually green, strong branches.
All right. I will bring you back outside.
So to give you an idea of like what I'm kind of thinking about and going for here, while building this wall, I kind of want to reinforce these bodies and everything. So the way I'm looking at it is I want to find sticks that I can kind of put into the ground and maybe through these bodies, kind of like rebar
Yeah,
in a sense.
some good oops, fortifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So pretty living that I might be able to sharpen down and shove through some stuff and
Yeah.
things of that nature. I don't plan on going too far though.
Okay.
Not like
It's easy to
like
find some decently healthy branches in
yeah,
these big trees.
yeah. I'm thinking like maybe like a square in there somewhere. So,
Cool. Just roll me survival.
bro,
Yep. Or if you're better with nature to find the branches, either one of those. But
survival.
15, yeah, it does not take you long. Like you could get branches out of this tree here. Literally all these big trees have what you're
Yeah,
looking for.
and I'll just kind of start piling things up at the front of the cave if I am able to cut them down and things like that.
Cool. And so I can think of a few ways Yakasame would get branches out of a tree, but how would Yakasame get branches out of a tree?
Yeah, if need be, if I can't like grab a hold of it and like put my weight on it and break it off, um, I would use my Eldritch Blast probably.
Yeah.
Just
So you're
pop.
just blap blap blap
Yeah,
blap knocking big branches out of trees.
yeah,
Got it.
and then start piling things up by the cave entrance.
Cool. So you do pretty good work at getting them out of trees. Let's roll an athletics to see how well you are at dragging giant branches around.
Eh,
Not terrible. So,
okay.
you know, you're walking with them at like half speed. So,
Yeah.
and then how many of these big branches are you getting? Like how much wood are you trying to get?
So kind of the way I'm picturing it is along that wall that we have on the inside.
Mhm.
Every, I don't know, 5, 8 feet, I would probably want to have some,
Some posts or
yeah,
reinforcement.
some posts. Yeah, kind of that
Okay.
idea.
Let me take a peek here. And are you talking about that kind of teal wall that you drew?
Yeah, yeah, the green one there. It's 15, 30, 65, 80, maybe like just like 100 feet worth. So
I mean, 23 is what I
about,
counted out.
yeah,
So
yeah,
25, let's call it.
yeah.
Okay. So that'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
That's knock it out, knock it out. I'm gonna just draw that you've been. Are you just gonna be working on like these trees nearby?
Yeah, as close as possible, so I don't have to carry them as far. And if I have to go further, I mean, I will after. But
I'm just gonna put some red slashes in these trees that you've been like messing with.
yeah,
So just like, psh, psh. Oh, that's on the GM layer. Boom, boom, boom. Just mangling this. You're like, that's a good branch. I'm gonna make a fruit out of that branch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's probably good. So yeah, you mangle some trees, you get some decent branches, you drag them back. Probably takes you about 2 hours through. I mean, honestly, I just do the timetables. 3 hours, unless you think that's too long.
If maybe if that extra hour, maybe I could find like smaller stuff to put in between the posts to kind of fortify it, just to throw it in there on the bodies, kind of add to the pile.
Yeah, you could. What you could do is clean up those branches
Yeah, yeah,
and just like blast off bits and things like
yeah.
that.
Like smaller parts of them. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll draw you a log pile, kind of
You can just put an X, like a brown X, if you want.
log pile. Perfect. There we go. That looks red.
It is. Fine.
See if I can make it more brown.
Hey.
All right. So, Katsu,
Mm-hmm.
you wandered the forest.
What I did.
You found a tree.
Mhm.
You chopped the tree down.
Hell yeah.
What do now with your fallen tree?
What I'd like to do now is I'd like to start chopping off some of the branches on one side so that I could ideally get it smooth enough to try and drag or slide.
Slide the whole tree.
Probably not.
I'm just asking. Like, is
How
that
heavy would it be realistic for Katsu and Yakasame to pull this thing? We like try to attach a rope to it and then slide it.
um?
Or would it be best to kind of like
So
chunk it?
so these are not like evergreen trees. These are like oaks and maples and stuff.
Mhm.
If you
Oak is
had
very
one,
heavy.
yeah, if you had one tall thin pine, you could, make it so you could roll it or easily drag it on some like log wheels.
Mhm.
But with this, you felled like a giant monster that weighs a ton, and you would have to chunk it up to move it.
Okay.
And to give you an idea of how heavy one of those logs would be, like if you took this tree, I mean, you took it down. It's maybe got a diameter like 3 feet. It's not huge, 3 or 4 feet. Honestly, with a maple, it's probably gonna be like 4 feet, three
Okay.
feet.
About the
Um,
size of an average person.
yeah. So if you took like a person-sized chunk out of it, with all your strength, you could maybe lift it end over end and flip it over and over, but you would be exhausted. Not like actually in-game exhaustion.
Yeah.
You
But like, holy
You'd be
fuck.
tired.
That would be work.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good news if we're looking to drop a piece on some goblins. But with that said, I'm going to be looking to chunk it then.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then what kind of chunks are you trying to go for here?
So, about how tall was that tree?
It's a good 30, 40.
Basically, what I'm aiming to do is cut it up into chunks that are within the realm of possibility for me to either roll or eventually kind of like flip towards the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that I get it there, I maybe walk and catch my breath and I'm able to come back and like repeat the process or do it decently quickly with Yakasame. So like cutting it down to that fine point of being like possible, even giving myself a little bit of
I
room
think
to
if
make.
you cut it into about 2 foot tall chunks, you might be able to carry two at a time.
You could.
That
Like,
would be very
like
difficult,
you'd
but
be it'd be a lot of work, but you could
yeah,
like
one on each
shoulder them.
shoulder. Yeah, and I think Yakasame could probably carry one at that pace,
Okay,
realistically.
gotcha. That's my goal.
So your goal is to cut it into log chunks. All right.
So
Uh, roll me another athletics, sir, to
can do.
to start piecing up this tree.
Yeah.
Okay, so felling it, you went all in. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
now I'm gonna be chopping on it. And to give you an idea, how long do you want to be chopping on it before we come back to you?
Honestly, I'd probably spend an hour chopping on it and then be like, holy fuck. Okay. Maybe I should touch base with the Warthon for that spell right now.
Okay, so
Maybe I
you,
could have him help me just carry it. But like spends probably a straight up hour trying to make a dent in this thing and then is like, okay, there's gotta be a better way to do this. I need to get some help. This is gonna take like the amount of time we have for them to get here.
you probably get 4 log chunks if you worked really hard, really, really, really hard.
Yeah,
So
ain't got nothing else to do. Keep chopping,
yeah,
boy.
all right,
That's what I'm going at.
So
okay,
we're looking at about 4 o'clock right now, right?
yes, exactly.
Um, does it start getting darker in here at like 8 or like
Yeah,
6?
pretty late, like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It's like spring, 7,
Yeah.
8.
Okay.
You're not super high up in the mountains. You're up in the mountains a bit, but you're not like
All the way up.
no. So, Katsu is 4 p.m. Yakasame, you're at 3 p.m. So, and then Katsu, you just got note. You made 4 2 foot long. They're basically 2 foot by 3 foot hunks of wood. You're like Minecrafting this tree right now.
This
Oh yeah, huh?
is the Minecraft episode.
Yep, exactly. I
Awesome.
do like how you guys are like kind of wanting to get into all the nitty gritties of fortifying.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. All right, Yakasame, you're 1 hour in the past.
Oh. Um, so a lot of these branches that I have, like I said, my idea is I'll probably be shoving them through bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hopefully rotted ones.
Like
Make it a
fish
little
on the
easier.
river. Yeah.
Yeah, so my goal is to kind of sharpen uh, as much as I can, um, so that it'll be a little easier. Maybe we can shove them into things like that. So
Okay,
if I could kind of whittle them down a little bit.
that sounds good. You have a melee weapon, right? That's
Yeah,
sharp.
I have a dagger, so I don't know how much I can do with that. Are these, how big are these branches, I guess?
As
Are
big
they
as you'd
like,
want them to get. I mean,
yeah, so
at
they're
least
like,
six
you know,
inches
yeah.
at minimum.
Let me see here. Let me see what I got real quick. Mm, daggers and small knives. No, maybe I won't be doing that then.
It's like you could put some points on the little things you took off, but
Yeah,
it's
I'd try to do that then.
make some thinner, like spear
Yeah,
sized. Okay.
yeah.
So you
Because
could
I'm kind of sitting out here waiting for Katsu to get back. Like, he's all right out there. Maybe I'll hear him scream.
cool. All right. So you do that. You whittled some tips on this smaller pile of branches. That's totally fine. And then, Katsu, did you say you were gonna head back with your log?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna make you roll one more athletics. Can you carry 1 or 2 or 4?
Yeah,
What the fuck? I carried 4, dude. Probably not be feeling so well.
we
All right,
need it though.
probably
Pretty
just going with
average.
1 for that.
Like 1.5
Yeah.
there. Maybe
Yeah.
big one and a small one.
You could do one on the. Basically, you can do one on each shoulder and be really tired, but what you realize is you could do one on your shoulder and then like roll one with your foot, but you'd be slow. So you can either carry one quickly or carry and roll one not quickly.
I'm gonna aim for quickly.
All right. So just go ahead and bring yourself over to Yakasame.
Alright.
And it doesn't take that long to walk back over there. It's not super far, but you got a log on your shoulder. You guys are both now in the same time.
Yes. Simplified. All right.
Yep.
I look over at my log pile. I look at Katsu's one stump. You find anything good out there besides that?
Catch his breath, really tired. I managed to fell a decently dead tree, but I'm having troubles transporting it. It's a lot. I was planning on chunking it up, but maybe you or Nawarthon could help me with transporting it a bit more efficiently. I think it'll take me too long as it is now. It's not too far that way.
Yeah, I think we could probably help with that. I'm not sure what Orthon's up to. Also, I kind of think maybe we should start a Orthon on that pitfall soon at the entrance. That might take a while. I can help you carry stuff, though.
I agree. Let's get a Warthon set up first, and then we can worry about that.
Good idea.
Alright.
All right. So you guys are going in back into the cave, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will.
Actually, before we head in there, since I kind of know where he's trying to poke through the wall there to leave that door,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna walk over there first.
Yep.
Oh, where the can you hear me?
You know, funny you should mention that.
Yeah.
Through the other side, you hear the sound of rock hitting rock, so it's like tink, 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 tink,
I knock back.
with your hand.
Yeah, like on the rock, kind of, or yeah, probably with my staff. Actually, I probably have my staff in my hand.
Knocking,
Ding.
just knock, knock, knock,
Yeah,
knock.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll match your knock, so you can hear through. It sounds
I
like
yell, "Come outside!"
come outside. Okay. So a bit of time passes because are you guys gonna stand here and wait for him or go back in?
I'm hoping that he comes around the main
Yeah,
exit.
yeah. So a bit
I
of
was
time
gonna wait.
passes because he's got to like shamble over those boulders and
Yeah.
get through all the bones
Yeah.
and let's see. Let me do one more roll here.
Oh shit. That rolls what I think it is.
It
Orthon
is.
might not come outside.
A couple minutes go by and a Warthon comes out and he looks pissed. Just straight pissed off. And he's holding Katsu's mirror.
What?
He's
Is that my
staring.
mirror?
He's not even saying anything at you guys. He's just glowering, just like.
Hey, Orthon. Looks like that doorway, is working pretty well. You made it all the way.
Yes, I did that. That's done.
Job.
Thank you.
Thanks. By the way, I should have mentioned while I was at the wall, there's a trap in there set up.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes,
You-
I saw the very well hidden tripwire connected to 2 crossbows
Did
aimed
you?
exactly where I was walking. Yes. Thank you.
It didn't shoot though, right?
No.
Okay, we're good then.
Thankfully, I was watching very carefully. I stepped on Katsu's mirror, and he just throws it on the ground near Katsu's feet. I have no idea why this was in a pile of bones, but
Yakasame?
afterwards,
That's crazy.
I decided it would be best to watch where I stepped, because I have
Good.
no idea what you guys have been doing for hours.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Well, Orthon, I'm glad you made it outside. That's awesome. Sorry about the trip, the tripwire. That's should have said something.
Yokosame,
What if you...
exactly as Awarthon's about to say. We need to have more clear communication as we work forward with this. It would be ideal for us to all work on a similar project, so that way we can get things done quickly, and we know exactly what we're doing. We're all taking point, and none of us kill each other.
Yeah,
I
thanks
point to
for
my log
all the
pile
help
like
moving all that dirt and all that rock. Thanks.
I was a little busy, Orthon, getting all this stuff set up.
Yeah,
Katsu went and cut down a tree.
why?
Well, we're gonna create a wall in there, and we're hoping to use your help a little bit too with that.
A, a wall? Like, where?
In the cave, just to send their numbers
Yokosame,
out.
let's show him.
Okay,
We could get some useful feedback from him.
good idea.
And I think now's a really good time for a short break.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I need some water. Alright, well, I'm going to put us on the break screen, and I will remember to take us off of it someday. We will be right back, folks. I'm going to go see what my dog's barking about and get some refreshments. Probably be back about, what, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you.
Hey, Blaze. What you doing, Blaze? What you doing there?
All right. There, Ludria.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi.
How you
Good.
doing?
Good. Now they had a good old sandwich.
Good stuff. Huh. Interesting.
All right, is everybody back?
Dessert.
Yes.
Cool. And we're back. So it looks like you guys have been having fun doing a play-by-play of the battle preparation, so we can totally keep doing that. If at any time you guys want to fast forward, let me know, but I'm happy to GM all those step-by-step preparations in the meantime. Okay. And then Eludria, your camera not be on.
Oh, my bad. Boop. There we go.
You change
Hey.
it from the break screen?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Good shit.
It's because I actually took a break with my break instead of frantically doing something.
Ah, proper break.
All right. So, where we left off, Awarthon super mad,
Mhm.
and you guys are like, yeah, let's go show you what we were thinking. And he's still super mad.
Reasonably so.
Yes. All right. So, do you guys all head back in the cave then?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. We drag everybody to the entrance.
There.
And there you are.
All right, Orthon, we should probably go over what Katsu and I have at least planned out so far. Our thought is right here at the entrance. We should probably put some sort of pitfall or something that they can fall into. Maybe slow them down, lower their numbers. We were kind of hoping for your help with that again, moving some stone and such. Is that something you'd be up for?
Well, since we're stuck here defending this cave, I don't think I have much of a choice.
Yeah, that's good. And I'll keep walking. Hopefully, he's walking alongside.
Yeah, he's coming.
And then up here, we have this choke point here where we're at. Our plan is to stay up by the Etten up there and be able to fire down on them as they're coming in. Perhaps take out a few. But I think our main thing here, and I'll stop like kind of up here, like watch your step, is this tripwire with the crossbows.
Yes.
Yeah, so be careful of this.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I was. Thank you.
I just wanted to let you know it was here.
It's a bit too late for that, Yakasame.
Well, just for all of us, let's not forget this is here. Okay.
Yeah, I won't. Thank you.
Yeah.
Quite memorable. Steps over.
Yeah. And as we walk down, we're also thinking of a tripwire here, just to make them fall on their face, hopefully. But as we go through, I'll come to the big cave. I'll kind of out like pointing my finger to him. We're planning on putting up a wall of bodies and sticks, and hopefully you can reinforce them at the bottom with stone and such. But I would kind of point out the wall. We're gonna put a wall here, all the way down. Make sure that they don't overwhelm us. Keep the numbers down a little bit. Katsu had the idea of, if you're able to, possibly putting up a ramp right here for us on the other side to look down and fire on them. You think that's something you could do?
Probably with some help. It'll definitely take time. Like I had told you before, I can excavate 5x5 cubes of stone and turn it into dirt. Then you can kind of mold it to whatever shape you want before it turns back into stone.
Okay, perfect. That sounds like it'll work. Is there anything you can think of, Orthon, that we might be able to use here? Any other thoughts on our designs?
I have lots of thoughts. Probably would have been good for you to come talk to me before you got as far as you did.
Okay, so any more thoughts?
So what, your plan here is a wall for what purpose? Just to make them not come into the main cave very quickly, or?
Well, if they all were to run into this big cave, this entire cave could be swarmed with just us here. If we stand, and I walk down here, right here, they'll have to come into a line at us. So they can only move as fast as the person in first place, basically. We have a much lower chance of being overrun like that, I think.
So what you're saying is you want to funnel them into as tight of a walkway as you can?
Yeah, kinda.
And then what about us?
Well, Katsu and I have been thinking. Katsu wants to run in the wall with them along this path, while you and I are on the outside using that ramp that you're able to make and firing down on them.
Hmm.
And as Katsu keeps backing up, once he gets out, we're going to try to block off the exit here with hopefully a big log or maybe set it on fire or something. But something that'll hopefully hurt them and slow them down. Give us time to retreat back to where you created the door back here, where we can
So
get behind them and take out their leader, hopefully.
I'm still confused as to how we're not going to be stuck in the funnel. So
Well,
Katsu's going to be running through it, which means it's got to be wide enough for him to be able to move and fight. And aren't goblins a lot smaller than Katsu?
they are.
And
Yes.
how are you and I supposed to not get stuck in the funnel with Katsu?
Well, our plan was we were going to create a wall right over here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And we were going to put a rope down so that you and I can climb straight over, get behind this wall,
Okay.
as Katsu goes through the tunnel that we create, kind of.
Why don't you just do that again at the end of the choke wall? Here,
Well, we can.
for Katsu.
It's actually a good idea, Warthog.
Like, if I were to do something like that, though, I probably wouldn't have a wall visible at the end. I'd probably have another turn and then a dead end. That way they actually walk that way.
Are you saying turn it into the cave or turn it back down to where the door is?
Well, while they're stuck on this choke point, where were you going to be? On the wall or behind the wall, or what are you thinking?
Well, as they're in here, right here, we'll be up here. As Katsu continues to make his way through, we can back down the ramp. If need be, we can come right back here and fire upon them if we need to or we want to. But then we can make a hasty retreat through these rocks.
Well, why don't you take your thing and make them double back a little bit, and then make the wall like this.
We can do that.
Or at least like this. I don't know. I
Yeah,
haven't
something like
made
that to try and stop them again.
a goblin trap before.
Me neither. This is all our first time. Exciting.
Exciting, yeah. Okay. So, what were you building this wall out of again?
Those bodies over there, my point, and the sticks that I have outside the cave. And I was hoping you could kind of reinforce the bottom with some stone.
Wathorn's like rubbing his top of his head. Just bodies?
Yeah.
Why?
I'll pull out my lore book. Well, you see here, I was reading this in here, and I saw this picture, and I was like, hey, we could probably do that.
It's in there. It says like, if you're getting like overrun and there's a bunch of dead around you, you can use bodies.
Yeah.
Or if you're trying to like hide somewhere in a city or something, you can hide behind a dead person.
Yeah. I picture it as like a story where somebody did it.
Yeah. And you're like, this is what to do. This is the plan.
Sure.
Okay, well, you're the expert. You know,
Go ahead.
I don't know. This just all sounds like we're gonna die.
Well, we might. But we have a good escape plan, right?
Yeah.
How long will it take you to get through the wall in that cave where you made the door?
about 6 seconds.
Okay.
We'll have to kind of hunch under it, but we can bend over and get out.
That should work.
If you want to be able to run through, then maybe 12 seconds.
All right. Well, we might send you back there before we get there, so you can open it up for us. But we'll see how it all goes.
Okay. Um, you know, there's a few different things we could do with your plan. For reinforcing the bottom, I can turn the stone to dirt, and then you could put something in it, and then it'll revert back to stone.
That'd be perfect. I have all those sticks out there I want to sharpen, and I was thinking we could use them as like posts through the bodies. If we could shove them into dirt and then solidify it to stone, that'd be perfect.
And what about the goblins climbing over your wall?
Well, Katsu came up with an idea of maybe we could put a bunch of sticks and grass and stuff along the top of the wall. And once we're up on this ramp here, we can light it on fire.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So, you're gonna build a wall out of sticks and grass and bodies and light it on fire.
yes. From the top down.
Okay. I'm sure this will be safe. I'm sure we'll be fine. Do you want me to at least make the wall a bit taller of stone?
Yeah, if you can add to it, that'd be awesome. Or maybe just raise it up.
Well, what I was thinking is we could dig out a trench next to your wall that they have to fall down into.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
And then I take the dirt, say, right here, and he's just pointing.
Yeah, yeah.
I take a 5x5 cube of stone, I
And
turn
just
it to
kind of move
dirt,
it.
and I put it back here.
Yeah.
You guys shape it into whatever you want, and in about an hour, it'll revert back to stone in whatever shape we put it in.
I looked at Katsu. That sounds perfect, huh?
That would be excellent. If we created the outline of where we would want with the bodies, and then use some additional sticks to reinforce them, like you were saying, Yakasame, we could fold the dirt in or around the nooks and crannies to kind of get it solidified. In an hour, we'd have ourselves at least a decent wall. One made of stone that won't catch fire, but one we can place, well, more sticks and twigs, some of the dead ones I collected, to start the fire at the top. It won't set the bottom on fire, but it should burn enough and at least halt them, even for a short time, from crawling over top.
How wide? It's just 5 feet wide, Katsu, so you can. Is that enough room?
And Katsu's kind of thinking about it for a little bit. Maneuvers, like Katsu's doing a little bit of maneuvering, like pulls out a sword, does a couple downward swings, and it very clearly kind of stopped his longer sword from swinging to the side, correct?
Yeah. You'd be. I mean, like the height isn't the issue, but left and right, like you're not gonna be able to swing very far left and right.
Not at all. And what about if I was using my long sword, not my actual Nodachi?
Same thing.
Okay. Well, with only 5 feet, it would hamper my combat style quite a bit. I'd be limited to striking only up and down, and my efficiency at killing would be quite insignificant. Whereas the goblins would hold the advantage while they were in there, especially given how small their typical weapons are. If it would be possible to do 10 feet, that would be appreciated, and most efficient for me.
But doesn't that kind of,
That you'd get surrounded.
yeah, kind of defeats the purpose of the wall?
Well, I guess in that case, if we do 5 feet, I'll be relying on both of you to help rain death from above. I can use my shorter sword, and I've got my little tiny wakizashi. Would that be hampered? All that much.
You'd be able to swing left and right just fine with it, but
How
it's
about a
not saying-
dagger?
yeah, it's not saying you can't use your swords. It's just tight.
Just gonna be tight. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
If you hit a nat 1, you're probably fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. In that one, gone. Like,
Well, I can start excavating stone into dirt piles, and then it'll be up to you guys to do with what you want with it. It's gonna
Okay,
take me a while.
I think first we should prepare the sticks that we're gonna shove in here as posts. I don't have anything to sharpen them though. You still have that axe, Katsu?
that I do.
We should be able to use that.
Additionally, there are a
Yeah.
multitude of blades in here.
You'll have an hour for each pile to shape it and do with what you want. So it's not like a huge rush on your part.
Yeah. Well, maybe we bring some in, and as you're going, we'll start shoving them in.
That
That's
sounds
fine.
good.
All right, we'll do. All right, Katsu, let's go grab some of the sticks.
And then we can kind of montage this one. So go ahead and roll just each of you roll in athletics to see how quickly you get the sticks and stuff. Yeah, it's one thing to carry sticks on the grass, and
Yeah.
another thing to bring it through a cave over a tripwire,
Yep.
through a bunch of bone piles and bodies.
Oh yeah.
So you're like, you're gonna be asking Katsu to do all the hard stuff, and you're like getting the little things. You're like,
That's
oh,
pretty
I have to
fitting.
set this down.
Okay, so you'd
Katsu
be
will
kind
get
of like
that.
you're bringing him to the entrance, and then I'm
Yeah.
bringing him inside, putting him away.
Yeah. I'm kind of grabbing the little ones already sharpened. Like, bring these two.
Yep. Okay.
Nice.
So I am going to black the screen out for a minute while I do that.
Okay.
And
You want us to roll something else to bring the bodies along too for this whole montage?
if you want to bring the bodies over here, I'd say you could either keep those athletics rolls or roll additional ones.
I'd probably roll an additional one because I wasn't doing anything there.
Okay. A lot
For the body.
better at moving bodies.
Yeah. They
That's
drag
good.
easier on stone, and I don't have to go over a tripwire.
Okay, so in that case, I'd be focusing on the sticks, and you'd be kind of focusing on bodies.
Yeah. That'd work.
Nice. Getting the bodies set up, I kind of bring the sticks to you, and you start getting those all set. Nice, nice, nice. So mysterious.
Is it though?
I mean, I can't say anything, so pretty mysterious to me.
If you want, you could take a short break too and like get something. It's gonna just take me a little bit to
Okay. No
map
problem.
out what
Let's chug some water real quick.
we described. And you guys can feel free to like roleplay talk more and stuff.
Okay. Yep.
I think Yakasami is pretty focused on work. Get all this stuff done. By the way, Awarthon, it looks like they'll probably be here in about a day or so, so
Oh, that would
just
have
so you
been,
know.
Another really good thing to tell me.
Yeah, but now you know.
Thanks.
While we're at it, let's share the rest of the information.
The rest of the information.
Yeah, like what, Katsu?
When you were scouting, you said you found a couple scores of them? Maybe
Yeah.
more?
Yeah, there's probably like 50 to 100 of them.
100.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if there's that many, but
What did your familiar say?
well, we're not the best at talking with each other, but For what I could make out, it sounded like a few score, maybe 50, 60, 80.
Hmm.
I don't know. I
Okay.
was kind of just estimating the 100.
Let's see.
But luckily, Orthon, we're not trying to kill all the goblins. We really just want to take out their leader.
And Yakasame,
Yeah.
what else did you learn about their numbers? When you were, well, actually, you could continue to communicate, or at least before they arrive, it'd be ideal to learn what types are coming, what type of weaponry they had, any additional information.
I can try to ask my familiar what he saw. DM, can I roll something to see if I can learn anything about what types of goblins or anything?
Yeah, you can roll me like show me another animal handling, since you're gonna try and talk to him that way.
Holy
20.
shit.
Yeah. Um. So how would you categorize goblin types? That's the other question.
Big ones and little ones.
There was a big one, and like a few pretty darn big ones,
Okay.
and a lot of little ones.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I think there was like one really, really big one, and then maybe some like medium size, quite a few, and then just a whole lot of really little ones.
I see. A big one. What kind of weapons did they have? What, what were they holding? Sharp pointed bits. Like, I don't know how you want to communicate this to your little one.
Um, I can try.
You can keep rolling that 20, but
Okay.
yeah, it's like sharp pointed bits. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a lot of sharp stuff, 20 bits and things like that.
Any bows?
Um,
Unless you roll something to see if a Mogwai can distinguish between a bow and another weapon.
yeah.
Would pulling out a
Um,
bow and showing
Intelligence.
Yeah, let's do that.
No.
definitely not.
Lots of pointy bits and sticks and stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Katsu. I really couldn't tell. They were pretty far away.
And then you're pretty sure it like said it might have had goblins as weapons.
Oh Jesus!
I think they might be using other goblins as weapons too, possibly. At least that's what Levante said.
Ah,
But
that seems a mite bit barbaric.
something might have got lost in translation there. I'm not sure.
What about armor? Did they
Um,
look green? Did they look metally?
Yeah.
yeah, they did.
Were they holding any circles? Shield. Literally hold shield up. Or did they have very many circles?
Katsu, it's really far away. I don't really. This is very difficult to do. I think they just have a lot of sharp things.
This is my last question. Please, Yakusame.
You want me to roll something to see if they had shields?
Did they have circles? Yes, they had circles.
Yeah, it looked like they had some circles, I guess.
I love it. All right.
All right. So
And there you have it,
you guys
Orthon.
are bringing in those bodies too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, by bringing in bodies, were you getting all the goblin bodies, all the dead hero bodies, the
I'm
hobgoblin?
literally grabbing all the bodies except for the Etten.
All right. That poor damn Etten, dude. And where
Actually,
where like in the cave are you gonna pile all the bodies at? Like just casterning them about where you want the wall to be?
Yeah, basically along with where
Med-
Orthon is like turning it to soil.
Imagine
kind of
like
putting it on top of that.
a train of T-posing corpses.
Yeah, basically.
We're not
And
assembling the wall yet. I'm just gonna say you're.
You're just dragging them in.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
basically to the big room of the cave, so we have access.
Big one. Wonder what that could be.
I don't know.
I
Probably
don't know.
death.
I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe getting eaten.
they got Eden on their side.
Think it's as big as the Etten?
The only thing Levante was able to distinguish that size.
Big, big. Hmm.
Big. Mmm.
Like it's like ah.
I don't know.
All right. So you drug the hobgoblin and goblin bodies in, and then are you guys are getting the dead adventurers, or you preference the skeletons, or what's your
I probably wouldn't mess with the skeletons too much.
so some
Uh,
dead adventurers?
I don't mind some mushy adventurers, though. Easier to stab through.
Cool. The mushier the better.
And maybe not like skin falling off the bone, but solid enough that you can't just punch a hand through it.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
You know that consistency I'm talking about, right?
That's my preference when I impale human bodies for
Yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Dead.
But you still want them to be like a whole body. You don't want it to be like,
Yeah, I mean they can be chunked up, miss an arm or leg and stuff, but
gotta have that torso.
yeah.
A fish without a fin, not a big deal. A fish without a body, don't want to cook that.
No,
Wouldn't feed that to my family. Put that back.
no.
Now, what about guys in armor?
um, if at all possible, yeah. Even if I can't stab through them with these sticks.
You guys are you're just carrying all the bodies over here.
Yeah.
That's
Yes, pretty
that's
much.
what I'm gonna do.
Basically, I'm just judging like the bodies by how well we can use them.
Nice.
And then whoever's the main body person, go
Yeah.
ahead and roll me a history.
Love to. Hey.
Yeah, none of these goblins have been looted.
Oh. As I'm grabbing their bodies, can I kind of check them out as well?
Yeah, they all have your basic goblin crap. You know, like pointy bits, like some really shoddy bow and arrows, if they had those, and
Can I put all that stuff in a separate pile?
yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna just copy this pile and put it here. It's not as glorious as it looks. All right. Okay. And with that 21 history, you remember there's a couple pretty ripe hobgoblin bodies up by that pot that had already been flayed.
Oh, all right, perfect.
So you're gonna
Grab them as
you're gonna
well.
grab them.
A couple pretty ripe hobgoblin
Katsu,
bodies.
as I'm going,
they were gonna be cooked. Remember?
yeah,
True.
as I'm going through the pointy bits on them and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, Katsu, I'm thinking maybe we can put these in the wall too. Have them sticking out of the wall so they don't want to climb it.
No. Yakusame, there's only going to be 5 feet. If I happen to trip, or if I'm shoved, or if I have to get near the wall in any way, shape, or form, it's going to do a lot more bad than good.
Okay. You don't think you can do it?
Although,
Guys,
How-
it's whatever you're gonna do with the dirt. I see you've dragging a lot of bodies in here, but you're gonna want to start doing it now.
Okay.
The dirt's gonna start solidifying here soon.
So my process that I want to do this kind of in
Mm-hmm.
is the more solid bodies on bottom. And then as we get more to the top, the more mushy can kind of
Mm.
sit on these posts.
out of character really quick, how tall are we making this wall? We've got the trench down and then we're raising it. So is it like
Sounds like about 8 foot.
What
it's
you
like 8 foot? Pretty
so
tall.
let me describe what you're looking at now, just so you guys,
Yeah,
I'm sure you have it. This is almost like a very nicely um, rectangular. Can you see this arrow that I'm making?
yeah,
It's like a nice rectangular ditch. He
yeah.
actually took perfect squares out, so there's a perfectly square rectangular ditch that is 5 feet deep and 5 feet wide, going all the way around. And
And then
then
on top of that
is a
is
big
half
wall. It's like a
cover.
big pile of dirt going all the way around this. All that stone is dirt right now,
Yeah.
and it will turn to stone within an hour.
And on top of that, the wall is considered half cover. So would you say that's another 3 feet?
Depending on how you build this. So it can be, I'm going to determine what it is depending on not only what you build, but how well you build it.
Yeah.
Um,
So, like I
right.
said, what I'm going for is on top of the extra 5 feet of soil that he's put on top. I'm
Mm-hmm.
laying the hard bodies, the solid bodies, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
with the posts in them into the soil, with the less solidified bodies kind of on top of that, kind of building up this wall.
Yeah. And are you guys shaping the soil at all, or are you just having it be kind of a mound?
I'm kind of shaping it on top, kind of like a. Have you ever seen when they cement poles in and there's like a cement that comes up, like a kind of a sphere
Mm-hmm.
to lock it in? I'm kind of like covering it like that on the edges to solidify the bottom mostly of these bodies that are down there. That makes sense?
I guess I'm a bit confused by that one. But
Okay.
what I
So
was
if
more talking
if a
about.
body's like
Mm-hmm.
laying flat,
Yeah.
so think of the soil coming up over the arms and like halfway up the body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of rounded, and then there's the body.
Yep.
That makes sense? Like it
Mm-hmm.
kind of cementing it in.
Interesting. Okay. And so you're doing the bodies laying down, not standing up, right?
Well, I think we have a lot of bodies. I think we can build it a little higher and more solid by laying them down instead of just making fence posts with bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I would say mostly laying down, but some of the less solid ones are kind of just thrown in there with those little sticks I sharpened, kind of holding it together and kind of trying to make it as much of one wall as possible, you know?
Yeah, and then Katsu, what
Mhm.
is your contribution to the wall? Uh,
I'm going to be trying to follow Yakasame's kind of approach of cementing bodies in there to make it a little bit more structurally sound, shaping it so that way it's a little bit flatter for the mound on kind of the inside facing.
I don't know what you mean.
So instead of having like a nice triangle on top, it's more of like it's a steeper incline,
On which side?
possible. On the side that's leading into the trench, so the goblins would have a bit harder of a time climbing up
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So you're making it kind of like this shape.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you have a bit
Um,
of a ramp, and then they have a steeper slope
Yeah.
of
yes.
dirt and body and stick.
Yakasame.
Yeah.
With how long and with how tall this turned out to be, I actually like the idea of cementing some of the weapons at the very top.
Yeah.
They're a double-bladed swords or anything of the like.
Yeah, there's
What we
lots
could
of
do
sharp stuff.
is we could put them at the very top so we wouldn't have to worry about running into them.
I like that idea.
It may turn out to be something that they manage to grab onto, but I'm doubtful.
All right. So now it's go time. Um,
And we're gonna
it's
go.
it's gonna be a survival roll from you, Yakasame.
Sure.
And what does your lore book give you again? It gives you a bonus, right?
Yeah. Well,
Or
wait, what do you
or
mean
not?
for like the barricades and
Would it
little
help
walls?
you with actually implementing this, or should it just be a straight survival, do you think?
Well, do you consider these the little walls with the half cover?
this is like your own take on that craziness. This is above and
Basically,
beyond.
yeah, I got the idea from the lore book
Let's
essentially.
just do a survival. Yeah, just straight survival.
Not
17 is
bad.
not bad. That is not bad at all.
Nice.
Now Yakasame, that's you got your plans down. You're like, yep, this is what we're
Yeah.
doing. We're gonna put dirt and then a body on the dirt, and we're gonna lay them on there, and then we're gonna pin them all in with wood spikes, like they're
Basically,
rebar
think of
wood
the bodies.
spikes.
Yeah, think of the bodies as concrete, and then the sticks are just rebar in between to hold it all together and solidify it.
So you got a pretty good little plan going on. Katsu, you can either roll athletics to try and make this go faster,
Mhm.
or you can roll survival to try and do this like super high quality.
So, I'm going to ask a Warthon in the beginning. There's going to be a lot of heavy lifting and moving in here. Do you think it would be most efficient if you made me, well, bigger and stronger? Don't know by what means you use that magic, but do you think it would be beneficial in this case?
Um, I don't know what you mean by beneficial, but I can make you larger for 1 minute or smaller.
Larger for a minute.
It's not very long.
No, it'd be like,
But you got to think quickly, because Yakusama's going at it.
yeah. Well, let me know when it's getting close to the stones turning back, if you can. If we still have a bunch of work to do, near the very end, I'd like you to use that spell if we need it.
Well, let's see how you roll. Are you gonna
And I'm
go
gonna
athletics
go
to be
for it.
swole?
I'm going swole. Going.
Alright.
Hopefully it goes swale. Swale?
Yeah.
No, not very.
You're realizing like strength isn't everything on this, because if you like slam a body, then you're gonna send a bunch of dirt back into the ditch and then go down and have to pick it up.
Mhm.
So you're not the most helpful at getting this done super timely. In fact, you're starting to lag behind a little bit with Yakasame's process of, which I'm assuming Yakasami, you'd probably have him putting like the spikes through
Yeah,
and
the
trying to
heavier stuff.
okay. Now, would you guys be asking for any more of a Warthon's help with this somehow?
Um,
Or have him doing another task now that he excavated all this dirt?
if he wants to start setting up the ropes so that we have a way out of these, that'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah, Awarthon, you had a great idea on how to get in and out of these, especially when you were talking about the corner. You can find all of my supplies, gestures to supplies. You could set up a rope that you'd be able to easily scale out and do any tinkering or kind of fine craftsmanship that would help that process to go more smoothly. I would appreciate that. Unless you want to help bring sticks to jam into bodies.
I'll stick with the sticks since I don't know what you mean. I just said, why don't you do your rope idea over here as well? And we haven't
fine.
made a wall right there yet. I just dug the ditch.
You got a good point there.
So Awarthan's gonna roll some athletics for stick lifting. See how athletic Awarthan is. All those push-ups. Yeah.
Same.
Hey, you guys together get a 20 though.
Nah.
That's how it works.
Yeah, so, you know, Awarthan's keeping pace with you, but the pace isn't that great. He like walks over here and gets a stick, and then like walks back, gets one more stick. Here's your stick.
Yeah.
Walks back. He's not like jogging, he's not hustling, he's like, here you go.
Also, he probably doesn't really know what he's doing, so he's just following you.
He's just like, here's a
He's
stick.
reacting instead of acting.
Yeah, you're like, get another stick. Oh, okay. Get another stick.
All right. 10 out of 10.
And honestly, with that, I think it might be a good time to stop for tonight with this wall. And we, depending on how things go, we might be able to play some more later. But
Okay.
I think this is a good stopping point for now.
Question is, do we make the goblins pay for the wall?
course.
That's
With their
smart
own
of you.
bodies.
Yeah, they paid for half the wall,
Yeah.
almost, or at least a quarter, with all these goblin
Ugh.
bodies. All right. Let me bring us to our little.
Should we roll to see if we finish the wall or anything?
That'll be next time. I got a
Find
good.
out next time.
Got a good idea. All right. So, thank you, Jbuck and Eludria, for coming and starting up Bane of the Ancients again. Hopefully, we can get our work schedules together and start doing this every week like we used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Gets Righteous. I was the GM for Bane of the Ancients today. Apologize for no music. Sounds like Roll20 got rid of the system I used to do music for, so I'll have to find another means of doing that. Shouldn't be too hard. If you do like Bane of the Ancients, actual play D&D 5e with some homebrew stuff, feel free to check out the other episodes. You can find those on the Bane of D&D on YouTube, or you can search Bane of the Ancients D&D on YouTube. We usually try and stream on Twitch and YouTube as well. We also have some social media stuff. Find on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. And I'll pass it over to Jbuck and then Eludria, and then after that I'll do a little more outros after that.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah, I appreciate it. Been missing this stuff, but yeah, I'm J-Buck. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, Olivia.
I'm Eludria, as previously mentioned. Super stoked to have this start again. I just love having a little bit more grimdark in my life, and I look forward to seeing how it goes with our next session.
Cool. And then some more shout outs before we go. If you like this, there's more D&D that I can highly recommend. One thing in particular is our Heroes of Old campaign, which is actually GM'd by Eludria. You could see me as well as Jbuck there as players. That campaign's been going on for like 5 years now, and most every episode you can find on the Band of the Hot Gaming YouTube channel. There is just thousands of hours of us doing actual D&D play on 5e. It's ridiculous. It is not as grimdark as this. It is a lot more shenanigansy and off the wall. Kind of like what you'd expect to find if you play a game with your friends, not super seriously, but having fun. Another person who plays in that campaign, who's not in this one, is Paul Garish. He plays a very wily fox character, and also GM's a very cool D&D series, which is all audio intake, called Tales of Swordfall. You should check them out. They're on YouTube, of course. What is that other something FM that they do? Does anybody remember? Shoot.
I do not know.
Anchor FM. They have an Anchor. Go check that out. Tales of Swordfall is really cool. They've got a bunch of side-by-side campaigns going on. Paul's a great GM. They're nice, short and sweet, well edited, very easily to digest. So go check that out. Thanks again, and hopefully we will be back very soon.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Goodbye for now.